This is the story of how a scorned Santa turned up to a house and killed 9 members of his ex's family.
On Christmas Eve in 2008, in the suburbs of Los Angeles, the Ortegas were having their usual Christmas party. It was filled with family, friends, and their own children. They had 5 children who were there, along with their spouses and children. One of their children, Sylvia, who was 43 years old, had recently moved back in with her parents due to a divorce. Sylvia had married Bruce Pardo at the start of 2006, and all seemed to be going well until she started to see her husband's true colours. Everybody around them loved Bruce. He volunteered at a church and was described as a typical, loving, usual town guy. Bruce worked as an electrical engineer and earned 6 figures, while Sylvia was a single mom of 3 at the time and worked as a secretary at a flower shop. Even though they were married, he refused to open a joint bank account or help her out with any expenses, and so their marital problems began.
Anytime you ever hear of the nice guy in town, they always end up being the worst people.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean?
It's always a ruse.
It is.
Always undercover. They're pretending. It's a pantomime. It's a play.
It is. Now, later, right, after this entire fiasco that we'll tell you about, right, they actually found out that, the FBI, found out that this bloke, right, he'd actually stolen from an ex-fiancée of his. She had organized how she had a lot more money than him.
Yeah.
They had a shared bank account, and she had actually organized 2 big weddings, to get married, obviously, and also a honeymoon to Tahiti. That is a very expensive package right there.
Brad, yeah.
Also,
2 big weddings, like, okay, I get it. 2 big weddings, like, so what happened on the first one?
No, so what sometimes will happen is maybe, one's for one particular family over on this side of the world, and it's like, oh, I can't get all my family over, so we'll have 2 weddings. So that's why often 2 weddings isn't as uncommon as you might think.
Okay.
Right? But, interestingly, he didn't turn up on the wedding day. So he just vanished, and then she went to check their joint bank account. All the money was gone. The guy had taken the money and done a runner.
Oh.
I don't understand how you can let that happen. Are there not like checks and balances in place so that if you're taking out more than $10,000 or whatever from the account,
you've got to both sign it, yeah,
or something.
It's silly. He should have stuck around as well. Sounded like she was breaded.
Bro, absolutely, man.
Secure your bag.
Get your money up. Like, my dream is to be a sugar baby.
Yes. What, you want to be a sugar baby? Is that not like when you're dating like a mum?
Yeah. No, I want to be looked after.
Yeah, I want to be looked after too.
Look after me.
But, testosterone and all that.
And this guy, he bottled it. He messed it all up. Anyways, it's quite clear that this guy, his past was ugly. It was not pretty.
It's catching up to him as well.
Now, a big thank you to our sponsors of today's video, which allows us to continue making Fellas Mystery episodes for you guys. And today's sponsor is Emma. Now, you're probably wondering, Emma, that is a slightly strange name. Well, in fact, they actually make mattresses. Now, these mattresses
good ones too.
Good mattresses, and let me tell you why, Chip, yeah?
Okay.
Is because they have amazing breathability. So the air can flow through nicely, so you don't feel all bogged down and soggy.
I like that because I get super sweaty at night, so I need that, by the way.
Exactly. So you have that. Not only that, but they do offer some other things, which is free shipping and returns. And I'm not gonna lie, for a mattress, you definitely want the free shipping.
Yeah, because otherwise you're probably paying like £100.
Absolutely. You get 200 nights of like a free trial night to see if you actually even like the thing, which is of course absolutely amazing. The URL is emma-mattress.co.uk/crime. You get 5% off their already existing offers. So if you actually go onto their website, you'll see that they already have loads of offers available to you guys. But if you actually use our URL, which is emma-mattress.co.uk/crime, you get 5% off on top of the offers are
5%
already
off a mattress as well. That's a good deal.
Well, it's a lot of money
Yeah,
because mattresses are not cheap these days, especially when they're as good as these ones are. And just if you guys want to even just go on the website, you can read more about it. You can have a little look in depth. I'm telling you, these guys are top mattresses. So check it out. Make sure you use Crime. That's emma-mattresses.co.uk/crime. 5% off on existing offers. Happy days. We got you.
By the end of 2007, Sylvia was finding out more and more of her husband's secrets. She found out that Bruce had had a child from a previous relationship. She found out that Bruce had been watching his 13-month-old son one day, whilst his ex, Alina, went shopping. Bruce wasn't watching the child properly, and so the child fell into the pool. Once Alina came back from her shopping trip, she found Bruce screaming and holding onto the unconscious child. The child was taken to hospital, and Bruce never left his side. He was there for the resuscitations and operations, but left his son when the doctors told him that his brain had suffered from a lack of oxygen and would be left paraplegic for the rest of his life. Bruce never contributed to any of the medical bills, and Alina was forced to sue his homeowner's insurance. She only received a small amount of money, which covered less than a third of the bills, and set up a trust to help pay the expenses of caring for their child. When Sylvia learnt all of this, they started sleeping in separate beds, and then eventually separated in 2008. Sylvia had asked Bruce whether they could stay in the house until the end of the year, as one of her daughters had to finish kindergarten. But when she was out of the house, Bruce chucked all of her things into the street. One of the conditions of their divorce was that Bruce had to pay her more than $1,700 a month, but unsurprisingly, he didn't. That month, he was fired, as he had been fraudulently billing his clients. Due to his situation, the judge decided he no longer needed to pay the $1,700 monthly alimony, but Bruce still had $31,000 in credit card debt and a $2,700 monthly mortgage.
So here we are. It's quite clear that Mr. Nice Guy is actually not really a nice guy, and he's actually a big pagan. He is just he's a prick. How you can just do that? Like, your son has just had, like, you know, he's been left with a massive disability. You've left your wife now to deal with it all. I don't know. Like, I just feel like you've both agreed to have this child, and then he's been injured or had like a life-changing disability.
How did he get injured again?
And so what? You just don't like his kid no more. He had an accident. I just think that it's like, I don't know. I mean, yeah, the guy's clear. He's not a great guy.
No, sounds very selfish.
Yeah, absolutely. And not only that, but he also just refused to help out. So it's one thing, okay, so let's say you're gonna leave, right? You can't hack it, whatever. But you're not even willing to support from afar.
You gotta put some money on the table, brother. You gotta send something.
Yeah.
But he's in the debt, isn't he? So
yeah,
he's in
on
a lot
the
of
road.
credit card debt. So this guy's he is in a spot.
He's in a hole.
He probably don't know what to do. What would you do at that point? You've $32,000 in credit card debt. You've been ordered to pay your now becoming ex-wife, $1,700 a month.
Yeah.
Like, what was he meant to do? That is kind of crazy.
He's in a terrible spot, and it's not looking good for him. Things are spiraling out of control.
This is the karma it's coming back from.
Facts.
By December, he had bought 5 9mm semi-automatic handguns and a Santa suit. Californian law requires a month waiting period before buying another handgun, and so it took him from June to November to buy all 5 guns. By December, the divorce was also finalized, and the final agreements were: Bruce got to keep the house, he had to pay Sylvia $10,000, and she got to keep the engagement ring and the family dog. On Christmas Eve, the Ortega's house was on fire. Neighbors reported seeing a man who was dressed like Santa get out of a blue car carrying a large gift. Neighbors told police they had heard gunshots and an explosion. It took 80 firefighters and nearly 2 hours to put out the fire. As the Ortegas were having their Christmas Eve party, the house was filled with guests. Most managed to escape, however, a young girl was shot in the back, and another in the face. After the fire was put out, 9 bodies were discovered in the house, and they could only be identified by their dental records. It was the parents, Joseph and Alice Ortega, 2 of their sons and their wives, a daughter and her son, and finally, Sylvia. All of them had been shot with a 9mm gun. Everyone knew it was the work of Bruce Pardo. Investigators believe that the younger children were spared because they were in the back of the house, which was closer to the video games and TV, when Bruce came storming into the house.
Wow, this story literally just got turned upside down. Like, this went from just like a weird guy being a bit of a piece of shit, in a load of trouble, to just like one of the worst acts we've spoken about.
Santa Claus.
Yeah, and but it's like we're talking about kids. You're talking about a family on Christmas Eve, a time of like where families come together to be as happy. This is a happy moment in the world. And this twisted guy rocks up. Now, more information about this is the fact that he literally knocks on the door. The girl opens it, and because he's dressed as Santa, you see him Santa like that, and then he just shoots her in the side of the head. And then goes straight after the two brothers. I mean, this is a gruesome...
What's going on through his mind? He must be seeing red on a different level. Like, he has no history of a criminal record or anything.
I don't think he is seeing red. I don't think he's seeing red, because that would imply that this is an impulsive thing. He took months to buy those handguns. Yeah. So this is something that he's planned and that he's thought about.
The grudge is like, he has a different level of a grudge.
I think that's just genuine, like, evil.
And then I feel like, he got to keep the house. It's not all tits up for him. He could have sold that house.
Probably paid off a
credit
lot
card,
of his stuff.
Yeah, probably paid off like most of the debt, or if not all of it, and then just got a cheaper house.
Yeah.
He had to pay her 10 grand. Okay, she got to keep the engagement ring and a dog. Right, maybe he fucking...
It sounds like she got the worst end of the stick out of the divorce.
He got the house, like, unless this isn't a good house, but I imagine it is.
Yeah.
Honestly, he was on six figures.
Could you imagine, though, just going in and just killing, like, 9 people on Christmas Eve? Like, what the hell is that? That is so dark.
That is awful.
Let's keep going.
3 hours later, Brad Pardo, the brother of Bruce, called the police, telling them that his brother Bruce had shot himself in the head. The police found him covered in blood and lying next to a 9mm handgun. He had many burns on him, cocaine in his system, as well as $17,000 in cash wrapped on his leg. After investigating further, the police concluded that he had planned to flee to Illinois after he had concluded his mission at the Ortega's house. They believed he was going to leave a booby-trapped vehicle outside of Sylvia's divorce attorney's house and then run away. He had brought plane tickets to Illinois, but also had US maps in his car. They also believed he was wanting to kill his mother, as she had sided with Sylvia in the divorce.
So, one thing I don't really understand about this final part is obviously he shot himself in the head, which why does he have all these things ready as like almost a getaway? Because by the sound of it, he planned to survive it and then make it out alive and then run away and disappear. But then he shot himself in the head. Do you think that like that was his plan? And then he just realized like, oh my God, what I've just done,
the
what I've seen, I can't live with
the
this.
situation, and he was like, yeah, I fucked it. Like maybe it just come over him after, and he'd just gone, yeah, I've got to shoot myself now. I can't live with this.
Yeah.
I think probably either that or something went wrong in his plan.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Maybe in like he killed people he wasn't meant to, or something had gone wrong. It's either the guilt and he couldn't live with him, or something went wrong in the plan and he realised he'd be going to jail for too long. There's no way this guy thought he was going to get away with this anyway. Well, he's fleeing to Illinois. It's probably
you're killing 9 people. The whole house is up on flames. Like you're probably like one of the most wanted men. Like this ain't just like, oh, you've murdered one person. Like you've murdered 9 people.
Did it dressed as Santa, like you're a big red Santa.
The sad part is like, do you think he dressed up as Santa because he knew the kids would like let him in? Do you know what I mean? Because obviously people aren't gonna let him in or anything like that if he's dressed as the ex.
Yeah, maybe he thought that'd just be a good disguise as well, because there's a lot of Santas walking about.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's true.
He's probably got the beard, the full get-up.
It's so tapped. Why, if you think about like actually why he dressed up as Santa.
It's awful.
Another point is that he had no real criminal history, especially in terms of violence. We know that he's stolen money before. He's not a great guy by any means, but it's not like usually someone that could commit such an atrocity tends to have some sort of violent background or has done stuff like that on maybe like a lesser level, some sort of violent behavior. But that as well, I think, is why it's so disturbing. I mean, this is a guy that you would never assume that they would have done this. We know that he's not a great guy. We know that he's in like a bit of a financial pickle. We get that, but that does not equal the crime that he committed.
No,
It's kind of crazy. It's like the crime he's committed, I could kind of understand if like maybe she'd left him, took all the kids, like gone for the neighbor and
or like cheated on him.
cheated.
Like there was some
It's
serious stuff.
so much stuff that's affected him over time and his mental health, and he's fucking buckled. But it's not that bad.
No.
Yeah, you've gone for a divorce and whatever. This happens to a lot of people.
Yeah, she didn't like the person that she found out you were.
Yeah.
And so she left you. And then what? Does he then, in his mind, is he like mentally ill to the point where he's thinking, well, if she won't like me for the person I was, then nobody will. And so I'm getting rid of her and then I'm killing myself and this is it.
Kind of like if I can't be happy, neither can you. So
Yeah.
You've all got to die.
Now, a little update on this particular case is the 8-year-old girl, Katrina, who was shot in the face at the time, is now actually a gun control activist, which I think is, I guess, quite fitting. Like, fair enough.
Hopefully she's just campaigning for them to not be able to be bought so easily.
Yeah, I mean, I hope.
Like,
I imagine
just
she's
control.
not the other way around.
Well, you know, there's two types, isn't there? Like, some people say you can own guns.
Yeah.
Some people are just completely against the guns.
But, guys, if you did enjoy this, then make sure you leave a thumbs up. And please do leave your comments below on your thoughts on this case. We wanted to do something like, I guess, Christmas themed, but this just is one of the darkest things we've ever covered on here, honestly.
I feel like we might have ruined a couple of Christmases.
I know, so sorry. If you have watched this over Christmas, well, still enjoy it.
It's meant to be spooky. But anyway, you can make sure to follow us on Spotify. Give us a 5-star rating over there, actually. Subscribe to us on YouTube. And again, we'll see you all next Monday for another mystery.